Hello, family. It's me again. You didn't expect to see me this soon, did you? More holistic. I'm starting New Year off right. I have another video for you. More holistic. Mind, body, soul, and spirit in one earth. We're all interconnected, all interdependent. Everything is alive. Everything is alive. So we have a relationship to everything. Now, I was going to talk about, remember I told you we're going to do a book review about Bright Green Lies by Derek Jensen. And some other authors too, but that's the main name. You can find it. I hope you had time to look it up. If not, you can just listen to what I say, and if you choose to read the book on your own, you can. But it's a very good book, and I'm just going to go over a few chapters that I went so far. I guess I could do just read the whole book and review it, but this is how I'm going to do it for right now, just so I can show my face every day. Anyways, excuse me. So basically, the bright green is basically is capitalism, industrialism. They're okay with it because they say that it's sustainable. It makes a sustainable environment. But the question is, can cities be sustainable? Derek Jensen asked the question, I guess during a debate. He says, where do we get the food, the energy, the water, and where does human waste go? And that cities, basically extract from the countryside, and dump in the countryside. Sustainability does require the import of resources. Cities drain the countryside for thousands of years. Electrical systems need mining infrastructures. Electrical grids need metals. Every system, every object relies on human extracting from the earth. So, also plastic, oil, fuel, transportation structure, industrial culture is against nature, and the oil economy is bad for the polar bears because, they're losing a lot of weight. I guess they were almost 600 pounds. Now they're down to 500 pounds, and they're drowning in the water because the ice is melting so fast. And it's just horrible. But, yeah. So bright green, when I say bright green, that's basically the modern environmentalist movement, which has been usurped and appropriated by, I guess, basically the capitalists. They're going to make money out of it. And they turned the message around from saving the earth to saving our lifestyle, saving the civilized lifestyle. That you can have your cake and eat it too. All you got to do is, what is that? Put on some wind energy, like I said, solar energy and whatnot, and everything is fine. But that's not the case. Because even recycling, because we hear about recycling, we think that's really doing a lot of good. But in actuality, recycling requires the infrastructure that's harmful to the environment, humanity. It causes waste pollution, environmental racism, dumping stuff in poor neighborhoods. And so that's what recycling is all about. So the bright green movement, which is the modern present day environmentalist movement, has colonized the mainstream environmentalism. Basically their message is you can have it all: industrialization, civilization, and a planet too. You can have a planet and consume it without a lifestyle change. You understand what I'm saying? But you can't have it all. You cannot have it all. And we need a radical, drastic, revolutionary change. So basically, within the last 50 years or 5 decades, the bright greens have wasted time giving us solutions that don't work. Their solutions don't work. All the little stuff you take a little bag to the grocery store and all the stuff you hear about, it doesn't work. So they say all that to give us all these lies so they can keep the status quo the same. But in the meantime, they're bleeding the oxygen, bleeding out the soil, bleeding out the air, and all the little microorganisms and stuff in the environment. And right now, as I speak, and this book is it's not an old book, but It came out, I forgot when it was published. But it's quite recent. It ain't been 10 years, maybe 5 years, couple years. I meant to look at that to tell you. But anyways, what I'm trying to say is that 60% of the Earth's animals are gone. They've already killed 60% of the Earth's animals. Just think about that. And the fact is, there is no good news. There's no good news because the environmental movement is not working. It's not working. According to the numbers, it's not working. So what the Bright Greens have done is appropriated, like I said before, the environmental movement and changed the ideology from saving the planet to maintaining, quote unquote, our way of life. And they want rally behind machines, making more machines and technology, and that's going to save us. And if you redesign it and structure it, somehow you're going to make it better. But all that stuff depends on raping the earth, even the alternatives. So it's kind of like it's just fooling you because it's really business as usual, and they just putting just a different take on it, and propaganda, and people believe it and everything. So they also really push heavy consumerism. They're positive, really, think push the consumerism. If you spend with your dollar, you can make a change. Buy certain this and detergents and consumerism. They push that. So definitely is capitalism involved in that. And they believe that to power the new machines, the current way of life requires industrialization. What needs to be doing is stopping the conversion. This is something you need to stop the conversion of taking the animal, stealing the, digging up, mining all this stuff and raping the earth. That needs to stop. And the fossil fuel is irreplaceable. Solar, wind, biomass will never scale up to support the industrial economy. And like we have it going now, all these alternatives that they're coming up with, the environmentalists say, the modern day ones, the ones that's lying or not telling the truth, it won't scale up to the industrial system that we have now. And also the alternatives are an assault against the world. Open pit mining, soil erosion, fossil fuel, and everything, all the different life forms going extinct. So what needs to be done is to stop destroying the planet and let the natural world come back to life. Because, excuse me, if you leave it alone, it'll come back on its own because everything wants to live and it wants to be here. And this is what it's for. So if you stop raping the earth, stop taking the minerals and stuff from the earth and cutting down the trees and doing all this farming and stuff, then the plant life and the animals and the microorganisms, they will regenerate and come back. Now you have these different, he talks about these different types of I guess you say people that have different beliefs. Like the deep greens, these are the real radical and type of environmentalist ecology. And they believe that these are total radical change, social, cultural, economical, and political transformation, total transformation. Then you have the lifestyle people who practice self-reliance, living off the grid, minimalists, those types. And then you have the bright greens, which I've been talking about. And they believe that our environment, in combination with technology and design, will allow for business as usual. It's less about nature and more about us, more about people. Maintaining, keeping what we have. It's like a wise use of the resources and manage it properly. And then you have the last, well, another type called the cornucopia. Cornucopia. These are the type of people, they believe that resources are infinite, ecology is not a problem, it's secondary, and that capitalism or socialism will solve all environmental problems. No matter what kind of economical system you have, it'll solve all the problems. And then we have the last type, or the technocrats. They transcend biology by investing heavily in technology and, what do you call it, artificial intelligence and all this other stuff, kind of like a science fiction movie. They're going to have, so that nobody's here. They don't really care if people die. As long as they have the machines to do the work, they'll be happy. Basically, that's, in a nutshell, that's my understanding of it. Maybe you might have a different understanding, but that's what I'm getting from it. Now, I'm going to, I hope I'm not boring you. Do I sound like a broken record? No. But anyways, I'm just trying to go through this real quickly. Now, the problem is the world is being murdered, and it's this mass denial. People, it just, when I'm saying, like, the ecosystem, the water, the whole ecosystem is being extinguished, expired. I don't want to use certain words. And people, everybody is in mass denial. They'll make up all kind of excuses and say it's the last days, and that's the way it's supposed to be, and there's enough, and that's not really true, and a lot of excuses. But the numbers don't lie, and life is running out of time. Yes. So 12,000 years ago, people started to destroy the world by creating, you're not going to believe this, agriculture. Agriculture is the culprit, because the way agriculture works, it clears the land, every living thing off the land, and all the bacteria and the plants and stuff. And then humans started to plant monocrops, just one crop, like corn or wheat or whatever. Those one crop, and then they just wear out the soil, and then the cycle keeps repeating itself. And the soil is not finite. It's they're slowly bleeding out the soil. Sustainability in agriculture is the oxymoron. They don't go together. Monocrops, nature doesn't sustain or recognize plows. Because I know when I was having gardens, you start digging there, you see all the little small animals, the little worms and stuff in there, and some of them may be cut in half, and I had never really thought about it. You never really think about these things. You think this is the way you're supposed to do it. And, that's when you take the plow and go through the, in the earth. And then when you do permaculture, when you do square foot gardens and stuff, and you bring in, the organic soil, it's a little bit different. But I guess that'll be a little bit better than just tearing up the earth with plows and stuff. So agriculture created civilization. Okay, civilization is when people started to live in cities, and all cities have to have everything imported from the country. Because the city dwellers need more land, more food, more water. Everything comes from somewhere else. It's like a colony, like a big bloated up power center surrounded by colonies. That's what a city is. And they extract everything that they need for the cities. Cities on themselves cannot live by them. They're not sustainable. So how, this is when they started to farm, they end up having surplus, and the surplus need to be stored. And once it's stored, then it's possible somebody come to steal it. Then they started inventing, warriors to protect it. That was like the warrior class to develop to protect the resources. So, and then after that, number 2, farming agriculture is back-breaking work. So then they started to need slaves, to do all the back-breaking work. And I thought that was kind of weird, though. I said, wow, man, you never really think about that. I had never thought about that. I'd heard about, but I didn't think agriculture was, I always thought that, agriculture was a plus, but come to find out it's not. It's what started the whole ball rolling of tearing up the earth and destroying it. Okay, so in the 1800s, fossil fuel, that was the age of the fossil fuel began. And say at this time, 3/4 of the people were slaves, indentured servants, serfdom, and were forced to keep them enslaved in order to, have a working army, a military army, and then bureaucrats. And then it was mass construction, building these wonderful big buildings and whatnot, and then mass destruction of the environment, extracting minerals, cutting down trees, the whole 9 yard. So civilization is a war against life. Nature is complex, more complex than we think. Because in a teaspoon of soil, there has like a billion creatures, a billion organisms in this teaspoon of soil, and they all have a relationship to each other, like working a circular in a cycle. They all relate to each other. One does part something and completes the whole as a unit, and they all have a relationship just in a teaspoon of soil. I had never really thought about that. It's a lot of stuff that they don't teach us. We don't learn about. But I see why. That's to keep business as usual. So the soil renews the earth, renews life. Everything is based on the soil. Everything is based on the soil. And I know, like in the 1800s, they had like 12 feet. Wow, 12 feet. You know how tall 12 feet is? 12 feet of topsoil. 12 feet of topsoil. Now, currently, they have inches. Inches. From 12 feet of topsoil down to inches. That's how far it's gone down. So if soil renews all life, then boy, we in big trouble. Wow. They keep, the humans keep skinning all the topsoil off. Skinning it alive, just skinning it. And, so the world is kept alive by bacteria doing their work, which no one else can do this. The bacteria, those microorganisms, the bacteria in there, like I said, they all have that relationship that they make life. That's where the life comes from, the soil. And if they have gone from 12 feet of topsoil to a couple inches, oh boy. You know how many thousands of years it takes for that to accumulate like that? All for money. Just think about that. Go through all this. So everything is interrelated. Life happens. Everything is alive. Everything is everything alive. Everything we made to think that is a thing. Like a tree is a thing, it's not alive. But the grass is alive, and then you have microorganisms in dirt, in the soil. Everything's so much multiplicity, and they interact with each other. And we interact with them. But we've been taught not to. That's why everything is a thing, and people don't respect it because we've been taught that, man should have dominion over the earth. They have hierarchies, Plants are down here, and then you got the animals coming here, and then humans, and you got the human hierarchy based on, race, class, gender, all these things. And so who set all this up? I wonder who. But basically, so technology is not neutral. It's not neutral. A lot of people believe that, but it's not. So all tools require some kind of material or energy it comes from. It has to, you have to dig it up, do some kind of mining or extraction of minerals. And basic extraction of minerals are just the crushing and the of the rocks. Yeah. So basically, that's how those authoritarian societies were developed, which we now live in. You have the hierarchies, and you have the human machines and more machines being made, and the social arrangement. And you got to have patriarchy, which is male supremacy, and then the hierarchies, like I was talking about before, the different levels, and then militarism and theology. You gotta have theology so that you can have a story to justify all the rape and robbery and the hierarchies. Like say it's your karma. That's why your life is like this, or you're a dirty rag, or you're full of sin, or the world is this is the devil's world. So just trash it up, whatever. And plus, man has dominion over the world, so that means you can do whatever you want, tear up what do you want. You're the most important thing, human beings. So they have this kind of ideology that everything is disconnected. It's like life is a series of things. Everything is disconnected and linear, and that you have a river, you got animals, you got plants, and they're not all related to what the truth of the matter is that it's a web of life. Everything is all connected like a web, a total web. And I'm gonna be real quick here. So basically, the industrial society, they want to create a lifeless cosmos, a dead world without, with technology and machines, and refer to, everything is no organic life. So like and he talks about the industrial regime. They don't care who runs the state, so as long as they carry out the mission, which is basically technology, machines, extraction, accumulation of material things, consumerism, and just feeding off the planet. Yeah. And they did mention that 98% of the forests are gone. And right now they're working on the rainforest down in Brazil. They're killing up extinguishing a lot of people, hurting them, so they're not alive anymore. The native people and Afro-Brazilians. Hey. This thing is Afro-Brazilians and whatnot. So let me hurry up and get on. So basically, all in all, this is what needs to be done. The industrial civilization is going to collapse, and it's going to be a total calamity. The wholesale conversion from the living to the dead. So for those who want windmills and solar energy and things, electrical cars. So what you need to stop destroying life, because life can and will regenerate itself if you just stop destroying it. And the mainstream environmentalists, they want to privatize and save the industrial life over saving the planet. So that's their main goal. So our main goal is to know the truth about it so that we can save the planet and just give up this life. I'm trying to imagine what that life would be without, I guess we couldn't have cars, cars, because that's fossil fuel, and electric cars, they're not going to be working because they still have to go and, have electrical grids and energy and exploit the earth. So I'm trying to imagine what this would be like. I don't know. I guess that would be something we could all think about, making homes from the earth, and it's something to think about. How would it be? How would we get around? Transportation? I don't know. But anyways, that's all I had to say today. I hope you get the book and read it. It's a great book. I'm going to come back with some more information. And but it's not all doom and gloom. I mean, we're at the 11th hour. But basically, if we just stop, then everything will regenerate, and because nature, wants to live, life wants to live. The insects, the bugs, the plants, everything wants to live. So it will come back naturally if you just leave it alone. And that's the problem. And so many people, you have to change their mindset. Okay, well, that's it for today. It was nice talking to you. I hope I didn't bore you to death. But yeah, that's all I basically wanted to say, and just That's why nature is so important. That's why ecology has to be protected. The earth is something sacred. We all have a connection to every living being, and the earth is alive. Everything is alive. Rocks are alive. The grass is alive. Everything is alive. And we have a relationship to it. It has to be respected. Because this is our home. This is all we have. So, until next time, more holistic. Give me a thumbs up, share, and read the book if you like. If not, you can tune back in and I'll give you some more highlights. Okay, thanks for tuning in. Thank you for your time. Have a great day. Have a great evening whenever you decide to look at this. That's right, more holistic. Thank you for tuning in. Bye-bye.